AITA for telling my cousins to cut their dad some slack. So my M35 uncle M47 is currently going through a divorce with his wife. And while I generally don't enjoy getting into other people's business, this weekend, given Memorial Day, I spent quite some time with my cousins Kate 18F and Mary 21F. And frankly I couldn't stand the way they talked about their dad. I didn't want to say much, but at some point Kate said something like, "I guess it was inevitable since mom's getting old for him to cheat on her." Yeah, I couldn't stand it. Sure, my uncle did cheat, but not because their mom was getting old, rather because she's been an ungrateful POS who's treated him like a slave and money printer and has been a complete recluse for the past 4 years. For context, I explained all of this to my cousins too. They're old enough to know now. 13 years ago my uncle left his corporate job to start a business with me. I had the idea and the money. Granddad croaked and left me everything. He had the technical know-how. For the past 9 years this man not only worked his ass off to provide for his family and grow the business, I'm talking 90 hours work weeks, but he was also housekeeper, cook, driver for my cousins. He didn't miss one soccer match, or school play, etc. Maybe this'll give a better perspective. One time, about 5 years ago, the dude overworked himself so much I had to drag him to a doctor to force him to take a week off. And while he was literally bedridden, his wife wakes him and tells him there are no groceries in the fridge, so he has to go buy some. She was always either too sick, too tired, or too busy with her job. I don't think she drove the girls to a soccer match even once. And after COVID things got worse. Now that her job is remote, she became a complete and total recluse/germaphobe. If before the household chores were 70%/30%, now, it's more like 90%/10%. And she refused him any sort of physical intimacy for the past 4 years. And when he asked her to go for marriage counseling, she just refused. Oh, and let's not even mention their lifestyle creep, which she took full advantage of despite her job's pay not increasing that much. Honestly, my uncle's been in a miserable marriage for a long freaking while, and the only thing that kept him together was the fact that my cousins were in the middle. Now that Kate is going off to college, which BTW my uncle is paying in full for, and bought her an apartment near campus, he did the same for Mary. I guess he had no more of a reason to stay with her. Mary kind of just stood there frozen, then she started crying and calling her dad to apologize. But Kate just got angry at me and called me an asshole. My wife is saying I overstepped my boundaries and acted like an asshole would. I maintain I just gave the kids some extra context.